I'm having a time, great time. Oh, I started reading this fascinating book by Rabbi Abraham Heschel, Abraham Joshua Heschel. It's the insecurity of freedom. Let me adjust my volume. Let me know if you're watching a replay of this video. Welcome in to those who come in a little later. Hope you're having a great weekend. The insecurity of freedom. Shall we begin? It's copyrighted, so of course I can only critique or summarize what I read. I can't really read the whole thing. I wish I could. I guess that's not really clear to read, but it's in the bookstore. And it's not that expensive. He's written so many books, and they're affordable. Or maybe even in the libraries because it's been so long. Welcome in. Come, all right. What does that say? Welcome in, dear. That's the table of contents to this book by Abraham Joshua Heschel. Let's get the name again. He's written so many fabulous books. Welcome in, DNC Reptiles. Grandma, go to sleep. Thank you, dear. I need to. I am. Shortly, I have to get up early. It's a long day tomorrow. Welcome in, Stephanie Marie. So nice of you all. Where are you? What city and time zone are you in? Tell me. I don't want to keep you too late. Here's the insecurity of freedom. He's a powerful author. You've probably checked him out. I've posted a couple of short videos. And if you tap in the lower right corner on that short video, it will, of course, you already know, it will take you over to a preview. And the preview, in most cases, I find that the preview will let you tap on the actual location of that video and you get to hear more. But like I was trying to say, if you go to your bookstore, oh, you'll see not all of his books, but some of his books, and they're reasonable. They're really reasonable. But once you start reading, Ah, Chihuahua, you won't be able to stop. I have to stop only because I don't know what I did. Guess it's a spray or something that I used, and I've got itching in one eye. But I'll be okay tomorrow. I'll see the ophthalmologist because he checks my eyes every month, and that's not fun. Hey, I hope you make it to the top and get lots of fans and just be yourself and make people happy. Thank you. That's where it's at. Oh, oh, just be yourself. It's so difficult for for a person. I'm not knocking anybody, but it's so difficult when a person has to put on a persona because after a while, people are smart. They know when a person is authentic, and it's almost impossible to keep up a caricature of yourself. I mean, that's no. Sometimes, you know, you can, and they used to have this old saying, you can fool some of the people some of the times. You can fool all of the people some of the times, or some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool mom. Yeah, that's so true. We never could fool, we never could fool my mom. She had such wonderful patience. She was the best mom in the world. But when her patience ran out, she would say, go outside and bring back a switch off of her rose bush and keep the thorns on it. And one time, she really, she cured me of all my shortcomings. One time, that's all it took. I mean, I thought I died. I probably did die and come back. I probably did die, go to hell. They sent me someplace and fixed me and brought me back. Yes, yes. Sage. Oh, that's cool. It says Sage. Welcome in, Sage. But you can't fool all the people all the time. My mother beat me with a horse whip. Oh, I heard for you because I know it only takes one serious grown up adult who can no longer tolerate foolishness. I don't even know what I did to upset her like that, but I probably did so many things, but she wasn't going to wait until I got to be a teenager and she couldn't control me because she had 5 other girls and my brother was the oldest and I had 2 older sisters. So she wasn't going to wait until number 4 got way out of control. She sorted me out, and let me tell you, I respected her to the day she left this earth. Just one time, I I didn't raise my voice, but I was an adult, and I was still not going to challenge her. I asked her, "Did you open my mail? I received a letter from Taiwan, and she opened it because she was the mom. She was going to be my mom until the day she died, and then she'd still be my mom." So I just politely said, "Well, why?" And she told me, well, you know, what she wanted me to know. But Let me tell you, I had the best parents in the world, but you know what? That day, I knew you you might have the best, most patient parents in the world. I couldn't disrespect mine. My dad was a professional boxer from the day he was maybe 15, 16. He was trained by Sugar Ray Robinson. We know, if you don't know, you should hurry up and find out. Sugar Ray Robinson, you know, I'd say he was even better than Muhammad Ali. So we knew, no, if my dad said something, we shut our mouth. Even my brother was big, tall, played every sport, but he did not talk back to my parents. My dad, almost every night, he'd tell my brother, finish your homework and then meet me in the, for music practice. They would practice the horn, the trumpet. They practice the trumpet. Blah, blast your ears all over the house for hours. My parents and their parents, nice, but oh, my mom's mom was the opposite of my mom. She was this drill sergeant. Oh, even if she was on the phone, we'd break out in tears. she 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 was not even 100 pounds wet, but she for some reason she saw this program on TV back in those days, Annie Oakley, Annie Get Your Gun, and it was this super pretty woman with a hat and a gun and a horse, and oh, I mean, my grandmother loved her. So my grandmother had her gun, and she didn't play. She did not play. She shot so many men. If they got out of line with her, she'd shoot them, and then she'd call my uncle, my dad's brother. He was a prosecuting attorney. He was a prosecuting attorney. He had his own law firm at one point, and then he became, I think, the first judge of color in Ohio to move up over the common pleas court, and then he became a circuit court judge that went around Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, all over those Midwestern states. You have a panel of circulating circuit court judges, federal judges that travel around. I think they work a panel of 3 or more, and they hear the appeals from the lower courts. But, you know, she she didn't play. And my uncle would go and, get her out of jail. She'd do it again, you know. So I had I have nothing but love for my ancestors. They didn't play. They they didn't play. I have a history book that goes way, way, way back. I think it's about 200 or 300 years old, and it goes back to some ancestors on my father's side in this from the seventh. I think they were born in the 1820s, so they were born on a plantation. They were born enslaved, but guess what? And I need to get more history about them, but guess what? They had this huge family. I don't know, a dozen kids. They adopted kids and they had their own. But they lived a long, long life. Some of them, those two, lived almost to 100. So I'm not going to dismiss their hardships, but when they came out of when they became freedmen, freed individuals, they owned the whole plantation, and they had so many children who were getting married and starting their family. They had their own town, and they provided everything for themselves. They made shoes, clothes, homes, um, had their own everything. You know, they just had so many different skills, and they trained each new generation. And the original grandfather said, you cannot sell this property, but within the family they can. So my was he great grandfather? Yeah, my grandmother's parents. Yeah, my great grandfather, he sold his share and left the southeast Alabama, southeast USA, went to Ohio, and all of us came from those two. Oh, it's a fascinating history. I have to tell you, I started, let me see, I'll guess. I just reached my 25th birthday for the third time. 25th birthday, 3 times. I just celebrated. And so I started probably at my first 25th birthday, calling all over all over different states to different family members, trying to get information. And I'm sure I had my second 25th birthday before I even knew who was writing history or who knew the most history. I know it was another maybe, oh, I can't even count how many years, and I'm still, you know, learning more and more and more. I'll never give up. It's just worth it. You know, you learn things that you never could have imagined about people, especially the secrets that they kept from us. I can't put my grandfather on blast because even my siblings and some of my cousins, if they see this, they don't know Grandpa's secrets, but there are secrets. You just have to, you can't give up. You have to keep searching through all these online and offline records. You have to just keep searching and put things together. So, and there's certain clues to let you know, even if people in your family have the same first name and the same last name, there are still things that only you know about that person that nobody else would know. If it's your first grandfather over you, your parents' parents, there's things you will know that maybe your children won't know until you tell them, or you don't even know until you really look through those records. And then you want to say, well, why was he so upset about certain things? You know, you get answers. You start to find answers. So, never give up. Keep looking for all the history that you can find on your ancestors. It's worth it. There's no amount of money, gold, or anything else. Nothing that can replace that. It's so priceless. You know, just the pictures alone that are over 150 years old. I, I, I don't know. It's just something about going back looking and then to look at modern day pictures of family members I may never even meet, but at least the photos. No, it's so nice to look at their photos and say, ah, they look just like this cousin, or they look like this niece or nephew, and just priceless. I just have to tell you the straight honest truth is just priceless. Oh, okay. I wanted to tell you a little bit about this book, The Insecurity of Freedom. Just a little bit about it. Without, hopefully, I won't infringe on the copyright, because I know that his daughter Susanna is a professor at Dartmouth. Now the page doesn't want to turn now. That's crazy. Okay, I have to close the app and start again. I think my Google store has about 10 or 15 books that he's written. This is The Insecurity of Freedom. And he talks about religion in a free society, the patient as a person, children and youth, idols in the temples, to grow in wisdom. Oh, I mean, he hasn't written that one sentence that I haven't just, my mind hasn't just expanded. I mean, oh, oh my goodness, it's just a wonderful thing to be able to heal inside when you read a person's writings or hear them speak. And he has a sense of humor. He uses irony, IRONY. He uses irony in a humorous way, in a comical way. But he deals with some very serious matters in his writing, but it doesn't make us feel a way about it, a negative way about it. I remember telling someone last month, I said, one of my, I think it was my third great grandfather from Scotland. I said he was one of the most prosperous slave enslavers in the South. He had, I think, at least, I don't know, three or many more plantations, and had enslaved African Americans on there. I want to say if he was my third great grandfather, then my second great grandfather was one of his sons. And from some of the family websites, they say that this son was married to an African woman who was his half sister. They had the same father. That was not unusual, not uncommon. That was customary and usual in their day, early 1800s, late. Well, my third great grandfather came from Scotland, probably sometime in the 1700s. So, I was telling somebody last month, said I have a lot of sins to atone for because my great great grandfather was really, an enslaver, uh, supreme. he was at the, he was the leader of the bunch, or right there with the other one or two people besides him, if that many, that had more involvement in his area. And so I said, I have a lot of sins to atone for. And of course, the person said, well, you weren't even around. Why do you even say that? Well, I don't know. I guess once you get on in age, you look at things differently in life. No, I wasn't there. I couldn't stop it. I'm here now. I can't change it. But, I have to grow through. It doesn't have anything to do with my age. I have to grow through stages. Human development is stage development. It doesn't regard what age, what your birthday is. So, I have to constantly, once I got that history book, I have to constantly try to, reconcile the different stages of life with the new information that I confront, either from my research or from what other family members have posted. And, it's very humbling. I think we all need a bite out of that apple of humility. A bad day for the ego is the best day for my soul. So, I guess, like, who was it that said, one of you in the chat said something really wise, how you were Your mother beat you with a horsewhip. That was you, Sage, that said your mother beat you with a horsewhip. Yeah, that's what happens. I just reached, hi, Michael Torres. He says, hey, ma'am, how, how are you? I'm fine, Senor Torres. Torres. My Spanish is muy mal, Senor Torres. But just, working on it, it can improve. It can come back. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. You might forget and fall off, but then once you keep going, you you get back on the bike. Yeah. Haha, it's okay. I'm first generation American. Oh, you don't speak Spanish. Senor Torres, do you speak Spanish? Born and raised. My Spanish isn't that good. Oh, I understand. Oh, Senor Torres. Oh, haha, I do, but not great. Oh, you're very modest. When people say that they'll, in Los Angeles, they'll say their English isn't very good. And you know what? I'll laugh and tell them, your English is better than mine. It is. I think people don't, they don't realize it. They think that if we speak English as our native tongue, English is my native tongue, there are people that won't believe that there are people that are native English speakers, and we cannot. Good evening, Senor Torres. There are English speakers, native English speakers, we cannot understand other native English speakers, even in our own country. We have to think, what did they say? Well, I'm going all over the place, jumping back and forth from that book to the history, family history, and when you live so many years, you're fascinated by so many things. You've seen so many different things in your life, and you met so many people. Here's another rabbit hole. I'll go down this rabbit hole. It has nothing to do with what I've been rambling about, but this is religion. This is religion in a free society. It's a funny thing how each religious group that I've met would tell me they have the truth. Nobody else has the truth. And they would say, well, a certain religious group has is demonic, or um, they're going to bust hell wide open. All these type things. And then they will argue. There's a certain type that will argue and argue and argue and argue their position, and really has not really looked at anything other than just what they've been taught. But anybody that's in a free society and will just pause long enough, have enough patience to say, I'll give it time and look at the different philosophical, religious perspectives, and then not judge, just wait. Don't judge. Why not? Perhaps there's a bit of grace in each one, even though there's over 256 in this country alone, different Protestant Christian religions or more. That number is probably doubled by now. But, each one, only one can have all the truth, a monopoly, and the rest are in error. How can that's, logic, statistics would tell you that's error. Statistics will demand the first thing in the statistics book, the first sentence will tell you that its foundation is based on a model. It has to have a certain model, and I'm not that brilliant, so I can't elaborate on these topics. But for people to just cancel everyone else's faith but theirs, that works until you reach a certain age. And anyways, religion in a free society, the way I understand, the little that I know, in this country, people have religious freedom. Even the government can't tell you how to practice your religion, what to believe. Even people that create their own religion, they have that right. They have that right. They have that freedom. I can't tell them, oh, you're practicing wrong, or, use strong, harsh language against them. No, they can invent the religion they want. So, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I always wanted to keep an open mind, always wanted to keep some doubt, and not the doubt to be able to tell the preacher, gotcha. I didn't want to throw a zinger and just challenge for the sake of challenge. But I thought, and I just learned by reading this book right here. I just learned today that the religion is the most valuable thing about religion is that it invites us to question it. That's written in the Bible. I can't tell you where. But, there's more than one text in the Bible that will say, challenge me, challenge me, and I will prove to you that I am God. If that's the Bible, that the same Bible that the preacher is living by, then how can he or she tell the devotees, you've asked too many questions. If you don't believe, I can't help you. What? These are brilliant minds who have studied and studied and they're preaching and teaching the Word of God, and they're doing such a fabulous job. You know, the first thing a person that's that brilliant should want is someone to question them. So rather than be intimidated, I would make the mistake. I mean, I actually did it. It was a mistake. To them, it was not a mistake to me. If I heard something, even if I was in a packed church, if I heard something, I'd say, that's a lie. The Bible says this. You know, and if he was a good preacher, he would not get offended. And he would say, Sister so and so and so. If he was, what I learned was not the right preacher for me, they would dispute what my open Bible said. They would dispute the Holy Bible, correct it, and say they were right. So I knew, you're not the right teacher for me, you know. And what can you do? You have to choose. At some point, you have to choose. I mean, I did. I can't speak for anybody else. I had to choose at some point. Am I going to prize or value another person's belief system above my belief? No. My belief, or the capacity or the potential to believe, is just as valuable as whoever, no matter how advanced they are. None of us are above error. So, you know, they could be 20, 30 years advanced over me. They still make errors, right? Yeah, they still make errors. And if I just keep, you know, ignoring the signs of the errors that they make, what am I doing? Worshiping them as an object. You know? How is that gonna, how am I gonna answer for that? You know, now that I'm allowing myself to look at other sacred texts, the Quran, the Torah, the Tanakh, you know, even I may still have a copy of the Gita. I think some Hindus read or follow the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. There might be someone in here that could tell me if that's the holy text of some of the Hindus. But there is grace and wisdom in all these texts, or why would they not? Why would they even be? Why would they be so valuable to so many people? I mean, people are not fools. They're not fools. They don't want to waste a short life. Our lives are not that long. You know, none of us want to waste our life pursuing anything that we don't see a purpose in. You know, none of us would do that deliberately. I mean, some people were forced. Yes, a lot of children that I grew up with, they were forced. Religion was forced on them, or they were preachers' kids, and everything was, you know, they had no say. My parents didn't do that. They let us choose. Oh, we'd ask, can we go to church with our neighbors? Or can we go to church with our family? Or can we go to, sure, go ahead, go ahead. They did not. No, they didn't do that. Now, they had their beliefs, you know, They didn't force us. No, they would provide us books and materials, but they didn't force anything on us, not at all. But, okay, going back to this book, this fabulous book, I only read a couple of pages, and like I said, I never wanted to put it down. But I want to see if there's anything in here. It starts out little. I'll bring it closer so you can hear me better. It starts out saying, little does contemporary religion ask of man. It is ready to offer comfort. It has no courage to challenge. It is ready to offer edification. You see what I'm saying? Already, it's just, you know, hands and feet, elbows, ready to go. It is ready to offer edification. It has no courage to it has no courage to break the idols, to shatter callousness. The trouble is that religion has become, quote, religion, quote, institution, dogma, and ritual. And see, this is why even a young child, without anybody explaining that part right there, even a young child who really listens to some of these religious teachers, they will come to that knowledge on their own internally at a very young age. And now we are being told we were always told by the older generations that there was an age of reason, an age of wisdom and knowledge. And before that age, that the children, they're not accountable because they can't really understand. They understand more than some of the adults, especially when it's their first encounter with religious instruction. Yeah. And they become so wise that they become a threat to some of the people that are teaching them. Well, I'm not here to create controversy. The controversy is already there. It can speak for itself. But that's how this book starts out. And it just gets better and better and better. And he doesn't try to go way over your head. I don't want to get too loud and disturb other people. But yeah, every page is dynamite. Dynamite, every page. He talks about there is no substitute for faith, no alternative for revelation, no surrogate for commitment. This we must remember in order to save our thought from confusion. We are guilty of committing the fallacy of misplacement. We define self-reliance and call it faith, anthropology and call it ethics. literature, literature, and call it Bible, inner security, and call it religion, conscience, and call it God. However, nothing counterfeit can endure forever. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier when someone says they hope our podcast does well and they're praying for me, for, that I retain my objectivity, not let my ego become more important than the soul. I will say, I welcome any rebuke if that ever happens, simply because this is the third time I've reached my 25th birthday. So I don't have another 75 years to get it right. Excuse me. And what I'm reading lately, the only way to go, only way for me to go is straight ahead, straight ahead. And not to get in the way of, of someone who's, you know, searching for information. No, if I can't bring information and hopefully let people decide, is it useful, is it not, take the meat, throw away the bones. If I can't convey it, then I'm in the way. you know, I see a lot of brilliant people. I do. A lot of content creators that are so brilliant, they have so much to offer, and they short circuit that in favor, what's a polite way to say it? Well, sure, it's nice for everyone to receive compensation, monetary or otherwise, compensation for their efforts and for the knowledge and wisdom and all of that. But I think some of us have lived so long and worked so hard in our careers or in a classroom, or we were busy making a life and we didn't really live. We missed out on that opportunity. So we're in our retirement, and now we're just beginning to learn how to live and beginning to appreciate all the wisdom out here. So in our zeal and enthusiasm, we may not intend to come across inauthentic or come across as just a bit nutty, but that's how it is. I won't say anything harmful against anyone simply because everyone has to live and learn, But I see some content creators in the, I just hope and pray that they see their true value is beyond just hurry up and grab another dollar. Yeah, we all can benefit from more. But when is it enough? When is giving into other people's lives just just as important and just as fulfilling as others giving into our lives. And after you've lived so long, if you can't see all the all the people before you that have, you know, pulled you up to where you are, if and then it's time to get some space and start writing, researching your history and your family. It's 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 time to go in a new direction. It is. The pressures on people that are still in their careers is so different from a person who's already went into retirement. And I would like to be the first to say one retirement will, or two or three will never be enough for me. I'm really not, retirement is not for everyone. It's not. I think it's good to have as many careers and goals as you can. As long as you can breathe, there's more. There's more. So it can't just be about the dollar. It can't. No, can't. As a matter of fact, I've heard throughout my career, I've heard from different co-workers or supervisors that would say, are you rich? Are you a fool? Because, there was an opportunity I could double, triple, I could have made buckets of money and I would pass it over to the next person. Here's an opportunity. Well, you can work in my place. You have young children to raise. I didn't have young children to raise. Another family had 2, 3, some of them. One man I worked with had maybe 12 or 13 children. His attitude was, I made them, I better take care of them. He worked 2 full-time jobs. 2 full-time jobs. And every chance he had to work overtime, he would. He just kept his body trim. He was very particular about what he ate, what he would drink. You'd always see him. He had a healthy glow. He seemed to me, he looked like someone that just finished a marathon. Think about it. 12 kids is a marathon. Yeah. He was so proud because his children, he had a right to brag on them. They did very well. They saw his sacrifice. Why wouldn't they want to do well? And he would brag on, this son is doing this with his life. My daughter's doing that. And people would get jealous. My God. They were so jealous of him. They would try to get him fired from his second job or his first job. Why? Why? He was an inspiration. He inspired me because I thought, hey, to provide for myself was a heavy mantle. Oh, it's such a burden to struggle up and work all day and sit in the classroom all night. And oh, woe is me. I never get to sleep, or I never get to party. I never get to go on vacations. All those pity parties. So, but here's a man, he worked no less than 16 hours a day. You know, That was the minimum. And he was looking for more, more. Honestly, I, I, I can't even remember ever meeting anybody like him before that or since. You know, it's just, yeah, there are a lot of people that worked a lot, but they weren't pleasant. He was always pleasant. He never complained. He was just so proud of his family. Oh, I've met people that had large families and nobody could live with them. They would order him around. If there was a speck of dust, a speck of dirt, anything out of place, the children were afraid. Oh, are they going to, they would tell us in school, oh, I got to go home. I got all these chores. I got to go home before my father finds out. They would actually bolt out the classroom, run out the school building, run home before their parent got there. So, well, yeah, you live a long time. You meet a lot of people. You learn a lot about the world. And just hopefully you don't get bitter. If you get bitter, hopefully you get better and better and better. Get over it. A niece told me not too long ago, she has a daughter that wants to join, um, sign on and become a police officer, law enforcement officer. I wouldn't discourage anybody from that. I would just say, make sure you know what you're getting into. Make sure you know, because it's the biggest sacrifice you'll ever love. But if you're not able to, witness the most cruel side of human nature every day, all day, go to people's homes, and there's a limited amount that a police officer can do. Report, write the report. You can make arrests, but you're not going to be able to cure all of the social problems that you're going to confront. And some of it you'll never get all the dirt off your shoes. Some of it is going to shred your heart. It's going to shred your heart. Then, good luck in your marriage and your family with your heart shredded like that. So that's all I could tell my niece, is to make sure her daughter understands it's a daily crucifixion of the heart, a daily piercing of the heart. Yeah, there will be a few days, a few years where maybe you'll see the best that this humanity has to offer. But then something will come along, and a lot of the things that the officers see is never reported, so that it comes into the mainstream media. A lot of things we never even hear about it unless we're right there with them and we happen to read the reports. You see, you read the reports, there's a lot of things you learn you can't talk about, and you really shouldn't talk about. So, it's a lot of things that medical procedures, I refuse. And, I'm bullied because of it. And it's just I'm finally getting the courage to tell my primary doctor, or, the doctors that I've seen for many, many years. I'm finally getting to tell them a little bit of what I read in police reports. I won't tell them all of it. It's too horrible. They wouldn't be able to. Well, I mean, they've seen some things. Doctors see a lot of things that they can't talk about. Nurses, people in the medical field, legal field, see a lot of things. There's no words for it, you know. So I'm just beginning to tell the certain doctors why I will never have certain medical procedures, you know. And you'll never be able to force me, unless catch me under anesthesia or something like that. If you catch me on my way to the morgue, you might be able to turn me around and well, anyways, I don't want to say anything gory, but we all have different lives, and that's what shapes our hearts, our minds. So there's really no one size fits all when it comes to religion or medicine. No, no. We can't really know a person's heart, even if we live with them. Sometimes I think, oh, I know my sisters so well. No. And then they'll tell me something, and I'll figure, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? This doesn't seem possible. I think, well, I watched them grow up. I saw them when they came home from the hospital. I can tell them how they looked, how they were red, and they looked, a certain way, or they slept all the time, and I was only 2 years old. I didn't tolerate fools. I wanted them to get up and play, you know. I would tell them that, you know. I would just say, oh, this girl is too trippy. She never wakes up. I can tell them all of that. I watched them grow, but there's a lot of things they can tell me I never knew, or I will never know. But, well, I've rattled for a whole hour and 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes, and I didn't say much about the book, so hopefully I didn't violate this precious man's copyright. But you would love his books. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. There's something, like I said, every sentence, it's a jewel. Oh. And many things that you will think, and you've never seen any validation, any affirmation. Here, he's going to say it. And like I was saying, he has a gift for taking things that are too hard to say, and he can say it in a twisted irony. So his daughter says that he has the talent to take irony and twist it and make it humorous. So a lot of things will be healed after you read his writings. And I can never finish a book. It's just too many good ones. You can always hear me talk about a good book because I just, there's too many good ones. Too many. But okay, it's late and I'm sure people are, my neighbors are saying, why don't that lady shut her big mouth? My older sisters, shut your big mouth. One of them, shut your big mouth. Yeah, she loved to say that. Well, I love my sisters. They're gone, rest their souls. May God grant them all the rewards for all their sacrifices, because they were the best. They were the best, but they didn't suffer fools. My oldest sister, she was she was the first daughter, so she could get whatever she wanted out of our parents. They could tell me no in a heartbeat. They didn't feel it. They could tell the rest of us no. But their first and only son and their first daughter, yes, that was always the answer. So, but yeah, they were priceless. I mean, I would tell them. I would tell them some things that nobody would tell them, and it would shock them. But they never had to question my love. No. As a matter of fact, that's one thing that people tell me. They said she always asked for you. When she couldn't ask for anybody else, she was too sick to ask for anybody else, she would ask for you. Or if she was so sick and the doctors, nurses, everybody is there, she was still asking for you. So they knew. Even my brother, I would tell him, he was so much older, but I'd tell him this and that and the other and mm, mm, blah, blah, blah. But he knew. He knew. Okay. So this world is rough, like I always tell you. This world is rough. None of us get out of this world without dirt thrown in your face, somebody trying to step on your neck, put a knee on your neck. So this world is brutal, but we can do it. We can do it. We're a walking miracle. We fought to get to be the winning sperm and the winning egg or ovum. We fought to become the survivor of all the eggs and ovum. So that was probably half the battle. And yeah, I think I said it earlier that, we don't have any monopoly on misery. We don't have a monopoly on purity, monopoly on faith or anything, any virtue or vice. We're not the best version of ourselves, and we're not the worst version of ourselves. There's a reason why we live over day after day after day, for a new beginning, to start over. We're not supposed to be who we were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's done. That's done. If we get another day, it's a whole new beginning. Start over each day. Don't let today or yesterday keep you from doing even a centimeter more, a little bit more. We don't have to do perfection, just the best that we can do each day. That's a miracle right there. We already we are already a winner. We won the hardest race that there is. So, okay, love you guys. And don't underestimate yourself. Don't do that. No. Just be patient with yourself, and then you'll be patient with other people. No matter how ridiculous things can look around us, that's here today, gone today. Okay. There's so much waiting for us in the future. And we have a date with destiny. I think Dr. King used to preach that all the time. We have all of us have a date with destiny. Oh, we can't be discouraged. We can't give up. We have I think he said we have an appointment with destiny. Yeah. Alrighty. I gotta rise and shine early. Okay. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for your chat. I really enjoy your chat. I enjoy you all so much. Okay, see you in the next live. I'm praying to be more consistent and not to feel guilty because I always have a long to-do list. You know, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I was trying to say I always have a long to-do list. And I always feel guilty that I can never finish my to-do list. And I would tell my brother, I can never finish. And he said, that's why it's called to do, because you're going to always have something to do. So like I said, thank you all. I just really, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at your generosity, your thoughtfulness, kindness, your willingness to listen and share. See, we don't have to be perfect. Who wants to, huh? You don't have to, not if you're in my podcast. You don't have to be perfect. Just thoughtful, kind. That's good enough. Be yourself. And don't worry, whoever doesn't like it, they don't have to like it. As long as you're unique, uniquely yourself, someday somebody's going to spot that and they'll know. They'll know you are the right person at the right time. And oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless. There's somebody out there waiting for you and you and you and you. Okay. Go do your special work in the world.